Good morning, students. Pleasure to see you again. Very warm welcome for all to today's science class. In chapter 3, we learned about the animal fibers like silk and wool and the processing of silk fibers and woolen fibers. Isn't it? Do you remember? Yes. You also learned in class 6, cotton fibers are obtained from plants. Linen, jute, flax are all obtained from plants. In the last lesson, we discussed about silk and woolen clothing are obtained from animals. During winter and rainy season, we prefer to use woolen clothes. Why? Because the weather is cold. When we are wearing woolen clothes, it helps us to keep our body warm. Is it correct? Yes. During summer season, most of us are preferring light colored cotton clothes because we have a feeling of coolness while wearing light cotton dresses. How do we know whether the object is hot or cold? And how do we find out how hot or cold the object is? There are many questions. So today let us try to find out answers of these questions while studying the lesson Heat. This is the 4th lesson in our science, Heat. Today let us start our new lesson, Heat. Are you ready? Okay. In our daily life, we come across many objects. Some are cold, some are hot. For example, instantly made tea is hot, but ice is cold. During winter season, we are in the house also, we feel cold. But we come out in the sun, we feel warm. Same way, during summer season, inside the house also we feel hot. But we come out from the house, sometimes we may feel cold. Isn't it? Okay. We can see that some objects are cold, some are hot, some are hotter than the other, and some objects are colder than the other. You have to list some common items, whether it is hot and cold. You have to write the table for 1. They are given some examples. You have to find out whether they are hot or cold by ticking. Okay. Then how do we decide how hot the object or which object is hotter than the other? Usually we are doing it by touching with the help of sense of touch. While touching the object, you should be very careful. Do not touch objects which are too hot. You should be very careful when handling a candle or a fire. Okay. But always the sense of touch is not reliable. Let us do one activity. From that we can find the sense of touch is reliable or not. Okay. For that, we have to take 3 mugs and we have to give the names mug A, B, C, like that. In mug A, we have to take cold water, and the B mug, we have to take hot water, but do not take too much hot. Okay. And the third mug, C, we have to pour water by mixing cold and hot water. Okay. For mug A, we taken cold water, mug B, hot water, and mug C, we taken the water by mixing cold and hot. Okay. Then you have to dip your left hand inside mug A and right hand inside mug B. Okay. You have to keep your hands 2 to 3 minutes in these mugs. After keeping the hands left and right in the mug A and B, you have to put both hands in the mug C. Then, can you say which is hotter or which is colder? Then the left hand says that the water in the mug C is hot. But at the same time, the right hand in the mug C says the water in the mug is cold. Then Bujo has confusion. Which one is correct? By putting both hands in mug C, we put both hands in the same mug, but these two hands says different answers. Which ones we will take as it correct? So, here is we may get confusion. How can we clear the confusion? The reliable measure of the hotness of an object is termed as temperature. Temperature. Most of the time we are using the sense of by touching. We are saying the object cold or hot. But sometimes the sense of touch deceives us. We cannot say the correct. For that time, a reliable measure of the hotness of an object is its temperature. Then the temperature we can measure by using a device called thermometer. What is thermometer? Thermometer is a device which we use to measure the hotness of an object or the temperature of an object. Is it clear? Temperature means the reliable measure of the hotness of an object. And the temperature we can calculate it by using or measure by using thermometer. Did you see thermometer? Yes, you may see one type of thermometer while you may have fever. If we have fever, we are going to consult doctor. Then doctor advise nurse to check the temperature. That time they are using one device. Either they put in the armpit or under the tongue. After 2-3 minutes, they are measuring the temperature. The thermometer which we use to measure the temperature of the body is called the clinical thermometer. So in hospitals, to measure the body temperature, they are using clinical thermometer. Did you see clinical thermometer? The next time when you are going to hospital, you have to observe the clinical thermometer. The clinical thermometer is a narrow glass tube. It has one bulb at one end. The bulb is filled with mercury. And also we can see mercury line on one side of the thermometer. And also we can see scale. There, on scale we can see. In thermometer, the scale is used in Celsius. Celsius scale is used in thermometer, which reads degree Celsius, 35 degrees Celsius to 42 degrees Celsius. Clinical thermometer, it is a long narrow glass tube. It has bulb at one end. The bulb is filled with mercury. When it measures temperature, the mercury is uniformly spreading through the scale. From that we can measure the temperature of our body. The scale is measured in Celsius, degree Celsius, which reads 35 degrees Celsius to 42 degrees Celsius in the clinical thermometer. Students, today we discussed about how can we measure the hotness of an object. We can measure the temperature of an object by using a device named thermometer. There are various types of thermometer: clinical thermometer, laboratory thermometer. Nowadays, digital thermometer also there. Instantly we can read the measurement. Now need to take time. Digital thermometer. The thermometer we are used for to measure the body temperature is called clinical thermometer. It is a long narrow tube. It has one bulb at one end. It is filled with mercury. When it reads the temperature, the hotness of our body, it spreads from this end to the other end. From the spreading of the mercury, we can measure the temperature of our body. It is reads in the scale Celsius. It has scale of 35 degrees Celsius to 42 degrees Celsius. Do you know? It is a normal temperature of our body, 37 degrees Celsius. The normal temperature of a human body is 37 degrees Celsius. Okay, did you get? Then let us wind up today's session. Thank you.